We are doing podcast stuff.
Hell yeah, I love those.
Let me just open Twitter.
Wait, no, we were going to do a tier list because that is the level we have sunk to now for our podcast. We were going to do a tier. We were going to do a tier list, but what was it we were going to do? I can't remember what.
Because
what the tier list
we were going to do a tier list.
What was it? First we thought like brands of energy drink, but then that one's a bit shit. I mean, we could do brands of energy drink, but I just ew, you know?
Yeah. Brands of energy drinks.
But there was another one. There was a genius one we came up with earlier, but I can't remember what it is. Shit.
Louis Theroux documentary.
Louis Theroux documentaries, right?
Which is on topic because there was a new one this week, and I'm really hoping it's a sign of the start of a new 4-parter, because he usually does 3 or 4 parts, doesn't he?
Now the issue.
I'm just gonna get a list of all.
The issue is that in order to have a tier list, you need pictures of them, don't you?
Yeah, I think so.
And we mentioned it and then never actually put the work in, so we might have to save this tier list for next time. I think
at the moment we just talk about them, and then next week we can do the tier list.
Yeah, like I've got a list here. He has done a lot of documentaries.
He has. He's done a lot, and I am proud to say I'm pretty certain I've seen all of them.
That is something to be proud of? Question mark.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain I've seen everything that he's ever done, apart from the documentaries that made me. I've not seen that one yet. In fact, I didn't even know that was a thing. I'm gonna look that up and I might watch that now.
Well, what's that one about? What's that one about?
The documentaries that made me. Yeah. Louis Theroux reveals his favourite documentaries, all available on BBC iPlayer, and I just think it'll be quite interesting to see what sort of things inspire him, because he is arguably the most influential British documentary maker of certainly my generation. I don't know whether the generation below us or above us will agree, but he's a national treasure.
Honestly, he is. I like his documentaries have shaped a lot of people's viewpoints on a lot of things. Like, I think his most groundbreaking one, certainly the one like I before I even knew who Louis Theroux was, I had heard of the Westboro Baptist Church documentaries. I knew information about that, and I knew that there was a documentary, and I knew how world renowned it was because but before I even knew the name of the person who made it, you know?
Yeah. The one that I saw first was Louis and the Nazis, which I've got now. And that one was shocking, but triggered a love for documentaries and a love for Louis Theroux in me. Like, if I sit down to watch something, the first section I will always check on any sort of thing, apart from Amazon Prime, I've never checked their documentary section, is the documentary section, and that goes for all 4 BBC iPlayer. I'll always check for a documentary first, and it's because of Louis Theroux. If it wasn't for Louis Theroux, I wouldn't be as so in love with documentaries and documentary filmmaking as I am now.
Yeah, they are. A good documentary does it well. What I can't stand is the overdramatic documentaries who are quite clearly
the American ones.
They're not there to tell a story, really, are they? They're there to shock and inspire awe, or try and tell like a horror story or whatever. Yeah. When really, like, the information's as interesting in its own without being in a world.
Yeah.
You know, like and you can make a good story without that having to be that fucking dramatic.
Inspiration porn again, which I think
Yeah.
we spoke about last week as well, or the week before, because it was World Autism Awareness Week. I find with Louis Theroux, he doesn't do inspiration porn. He never speaks down to anybody that he interviews, and he remains impartial as well, even when interviewing Nazis and
And the reason we're really on about Louis Theroux at the moment, because, well, he's a wonderful man, he's beautiful, he's lovely, and he's hilarious. But also, he recently came out with a new documentary about Joe Exotic, the Tiger King.
And the fact that Joe Exotic wrote to him.
He didn't. He wrote to someone else and mentioned him in the letter, and then the person he wrote to sent it off to him.
But the fact that Joe Exotic even remembered him, shows a lot, because Joe Exotic must have had a lot of documentary makers, come through his doors over the
probably
decades.
not, actually, but just because
Netflix apparently have a
it's not Netflix, it's the producers of Tiger King. They have exclusive contracts with Joe Exotic and a lot of the people who are on Tiger King, which I just think is so fucking weird. Like, imagine having like a story that, like, imagine having stuff that happened to you in your personal history, things that you know, things that you witnessed or whatever, and then imagine someone comes around who has a piece of paper that suddenly says that you're not allowed to talk about your personal experiences. Yeah, your own life, the things that you do and why you do them. Imagine that. Imagine having that fucking contract hovering over your head all the time. It's ridiculous. I thought that was just really dumb. But
I don't think he will ever be freed, Joe Exotic.
Oh no, definitely not. I don't.
Won't ever. How old is Joe Exotic? Let me Google.
Oh, he's quite old now, I think.
Is Joe Exotic 58? He's a lot older than I thought he was going to be.
He's a lot younger than I thought he was going to be. I thought he was in his 60s now.
He's 58.
So not far off.
Yeah, Louis Theroux is just a lovely man who quite often touches on a lot of controversial topics in a way that isn't controversial. And that's what's so lovely about him, is that he doesn't approach these topics in a controversial way.
No, he doesn't. And he always posts, even when he was interviewing Carol Baskin, who, in my personal opinion, 100% killed her husband. He still managed to present...
reasons. That's an opinion, not fact.
Sure. But even when he was interviewing her, he still presented all of the facts of, the different sides of her story and stuff.
Yeah. And sorry, I've got severe hiccup. I shouldn't have downed half a Diet Coke before starting this.
I'm on an energy drink, so I'm pretty much the same. I'm just trying to.
I'm just looking through the documentaries that Louis Theroux has done. Now. And I think I might watch Docs That Made Me at some point. It's only 16 minutes long.
Yeah.
I think it'll be quite interesting. And he's done a lot. I always forget about Weird Weekends, and I watched Weird Weekends when I was a kid.
That sounds healthy.
Thinking back on it was odd to watch as a kid, but yeah, I watched them as a kid. Apart from the The one where he goes to a brothel. I haven't seen that one. I've watched that one in my adult life, obviously.
Yeah.
I distinctly remember the Christmas one. It was beautiful. And even then, I think I fell in love with him. Honestly, from early childhood, the second I saw him, I was like, yes, do I want to be that man?
Or do
Or
you
do I
want
want to follow that
him?
man round with a camera? Maybe I want to follow him round with a camera. Who knows?
Yeah.
But he definitely sparked a passion for documentary films in me, which I never thought would happen. I don't know whether I'd like to work on a documentary or whatever. I'll work that out next year. But I would like to film.
What would you do if you were to do a documentary? What would you do it on?
I mean, I don't know. Myself and some classmates are thinking about doing a documentary about safety at night, just because it was one of the ideas that was pitched for our short film too, but wasn't picked, so we're thinking about making it anyway.
Just because you can.
Fun,
yeah.
I get what? Well, it won't be
quote
fun.
Unquote fun, yeah.
Fun is the wrong word, because it would not be a fun project. We were debating doing one on safety in Brighton, specifically, because that's where we live, and women's
I imagine
safety
Brighton's
and...
quite safe. I don't know. Have you looked into it?
Actually,
I feel like Brighton's safe, but is that because
yesterday
want it to be?
Yesterday, someone in my uni group chat shared an article that shocked me. It's a list of the most dangerous areas in Brighton and what crimes happen there. And there's a lot of knife crime, and there's a lot of sexual violence.
There's a lot of knife. Yeah, that's really bad. There is a lot of knife crime throughout the UK, though. There's been a very big issue recently.
And even though I live here, I still view myself as an outsider because I've not been here for very long. I don't even know my way around yet.
Yeah.
I'm still an outsider. As an outsider who, before moving here, knew the place for Trans Pride and the place I feel the most safe walking the streets at night in the UK, possibly the world, that really shocks me and saddens me. But it is very good that these lists exist.
Oh, of course.
Because these lists will protect people like me and my classmates.
Yeah.
For when the pubs open and stuff. It was put out as a warning to students because the pubs and shit are opening soon.
Oh, aye.
So I don't know, I think it is a safe place, but I guess everywhere has people, not areas, because it's never the area that's bad, it's a minority.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
people
living there make areas bad.
Yeah.
No one can, like, an area can't be bad. Areas aren't sentient. I mean, depending on who you ask, they might be, but...
I grew up in one of the roughest, quote-unquote, areas in Stockport. And it was also the most community-driven place in the whole of Stockport. Everybody was so lovely. If you were ill, people would bring round cooked meals and shit for you. It was lovely. It was just a few of them that give the place a bad name. And I guess
there's rough places in Stockport.
Oh God, yeah.
See that I didn't know.
I grew up on a council estate, and I would very much like to live on a council estate again at some point in my life, which sounds mad, I know, because not many people like them. But we were friends with all of our neighbours. We'd walk each other's dogs and stuff, and it was really nice. But there was a lot of... one of the houses up the road from us was once petrol bombed by a drug dealer.
Oh, well, that's not great. You made it sound so lovely until then as well.
And the people across the road from us were arrested all the time for drug dealing and like having guns and stuff. And it was, but it was a bit of amusement for us all, and that sounds mad.
That's really dark.
But if you ask anybody that grew up on a council estate in the early 2000s, they'll all tell you exactly the same. Like, all the neighbours were stood in the gardens watching when something kicked off.
Yeah,
and people were shouting at each other down the street. And the petrol bomb was the weirdest, though.
I mean, weird is definitely
it was,
one word for it.
It was strange. Oh, and there was one time a bus crashed into my next door, but one neighbour's house. And we were on the news that time. I was like 9. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
What, your 15 minutes of fame when you were 9?
Someone stole a stagecoach bus and drove it into their garden and like smashed up half of their house.
Why?
And I don't know, because I was 9. If I was a little bit older, I bet I would have found out. But I was just like
was it against that person specifically, or
no? It was just they were running away from the police. They were on a police chase. They happened to turn down our estate, which was like cornered off. It was a dead end, and they mustn't have known that, because they turned down and then they went to turn around and just skidded, because it's a bus. It's longer than a car.
Yeah.
And crashed into a garden. Luckily, there was no passengers on it or anything. But I remember it being one of the most exciting nights of my childhood, because I was allowed to stay up late to watch the bus.
Kind of sad. the fact that that's one of your most exciting nights from your childhood.
It says a lot about my childhood, doesn't it?
Right, okay. Do you want to do a tier list of Louis Theroux documentaries?
Oh yeah, I got massively sidetracked.
Because I that entire time we spent talking. No, well, I've got them all. I've got all the images and stuff. I'll screen share on Discord, and then I'll go live. Right, there you go. Right, I've screen sharing on Discord. Now I'm just gonna move stuff over before I do my display capture, because I don't want to dox anyone or do anything.
I'm just adding a... Oh, 1 second, I'm not... full screen.
Right, okay.
1 second, I'm not...
You're not what?
I want... No. Stop it. Window. It's not letting me do Discord.
I don't understand what that means.
It's not letting me screen capture Discord for some reason.
You don't need to screen capture Discord. And it won't screen capture Discord because it's in streamer mode and you could dox loads of people, so don't do that. Oh
shit, yeah.
Don't screen capture Discord is the thing to do there. Right, let me go.
I don't think Louis Theroux documentaries is going to be an option, you know.
Why I don't know why it's making me do this. I'm just going to put the category as Fall Guys. What do you mean template cover photo? I just want to make a tier list, mate. Oh right, okay. What do we want? What do we want for? So what's our S tier for Louis Theroux documentaries? Like, right, the D tier can be Savile.
Yeah.
S tier can be
Joe Exotic.
Joe Exotic.
If we name all of
this. If we name all of the tiers, you just have to go to twitch.tv/ZenithGames then, won't you?
I mean, nobody's watching.
Okay. If we name them like after all of these things, then we're gonna have half the thing filled out already. Right, I'm just gonna put the like A, B, C. So Joe Exotic, the man himself, is S tier, and Jimmy Savile is bottom tier. Now, how do I make this fucking thing happen? I just want to make a tier list, dude. Why is this so difficult?
You have to pay for it.
I have to sign in. I have to sign in. What is this shit? Right. Just give me a tier list template. There we go. Right. This is easy. Can I
Why is this?
I should have looked at this beforehand. Anyway, Casper, carry the podcast whilst I sort this shit out.
So, yeah. I don't know. You put me on the spot a little bit, to be honest.
Uh-huh. You're a podcast host. This your job.
MI6 has said that trans and non-binary spies makes the Secret Service stronger, which is cool.
Wow.
I should...
This is a good day for non-binary people, Jesus.
Maybe I should apply and be a trans spy. But I don't think I could put that on my CV.
Right, okay. Got them. Right, you're just gonna have to, like, kind of see this down here, I guess. So, what... Alright, let me go to display. And display capture... Yeah, there we go. Cool. So right. Okay, so we've got Shooting Joe Exotic is our first one. Now I think Shooting Joe Exotic belongs, like, we were gonna name our S tier after Joe Exotic anyway. So Joe Exotic definitely belongs in S tier, right? Like, that was an A-star documentary. That was why am I doing the perspective thing? That was an A-star documentary. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Like, I enjoyed that one a lot. Okay, so now we've got Selling Sex. Now, what was the Selling Sex one about? That was just him...
prostitution, if I remember. If I remember rightly, it was really sad. Didn't one of them die?
I think so. It was very sad, quite emotionally heart-wrenching, so I think I'd put that in S tier as well.
Also, I don't remember it, so C.
C? Should we go B? Should we go B?
Yeah.
If you can't remember it, let's go B, because I think it was... I remember it being emotional.
Sad, but I cannot remember why it was sad.
Right, Life on the Edge 4, Family Ties. I don't remember anything about that one. Do you remember that one?
I don't remember that either. Right, put it at the bottom.
I think F tier is going to be the ones that we know are terrible things, right? So I'm going to reserve that for that. But I'm going to leave E tier. I'm going to put E tier as ones we just don't remember at all, and we can't even remember feeling anything for them. So that's just going to go in there.
Wait, that was the latest latest Westboro Baptist Church one. That's who those girls are.
Is it?
Yeah,
I
you know
still
when he
don't
went back
remember
to talk to the ones that had left the Westboro Baptist Church.
Okay, maybe it belongs in E then.
Yeah,
D then.
Put it in D.
If you remember some of it. Okay. Life on the Edge 3. Law and Disorder. I don't like cops at all. I think E, maybe
but
F.
It wasn't about cops.
It was kind of, though, and I can't... Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? I'd vote for E, but...
I think E, yeah. Again,
E?
I don't remember much about it. Yeah, I don't remember much about Life on the Edge.
Right, okay. Life on the Edge 2, The Dark Side of Pleasure. Again, I can't remember this one.
Oh my god, that one was that weird one where they made him where they blindfolded him and made him eat cheese. Do you remember?
Oh, that was funny. I like that. This one's gone out.
C.
Yeah, I remember that. C? C.
Yeah.
Let's put that one in.
That was
C.
weird.
Let's put that one in C. Nice. Yeah, that one was quite funny. I like that. surviving America's Most Hated Family. This is where he went to see the girls from the West Bay Baptist Church.
B.
I remember that being really good. Yeah, I'd go with B.
Yeah,
for that
I remember
one.
that being really good.
Is there any reason why you'd think B for that one? I think it's just because...
I remember it being better than the latest update on them. But
for
not
me,
as good as
for
the one
me,
when
it
they
was
were
like
actually in
it was like the fact that he came full circle. Like, this has been going on for years. It was one of the documentaries that was his most famous documentary, and it was just like, I don't know. It just felt like very full circle-y, and I like that.
Yeah.
Mothers on the Edge.
Oh, S. That it broke my heart. It was about women who had just had babies and had mental health problems. Like there was one.
I don't remember much about
there was
it,
one
so I'll go with you on this one if you think it's S tier.
Psychosis and depression, and it was harrowing. Like, it was horrible. But
yeah,
interesting because I didn't know that that psychosis after having a baby is quite common, and like it's just as common as the anxiety and depression you get after having a baby. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Okay, if you think S, I'll go with you on that one. So what about Life on the Edge 1? Beyond Belief. I don't know anything about this one.
What's
I can't
the picture for it? Show me the
It's
picture.
God is your enemy. Blah blah blah.
What?
Look, are you looking at what I'm scared?
I can't see it.
Oh right, okay. You've got the list, right? You've got the list on the BBC.
Yeah. 1 second. List of Louis Theroux documentaries.
To be fair, I can share my actual, because I'm only sharing like the window.
Oh, there we go.
That
This episode talks about Louis and the Nazis.
Okay. Oh, right.
I remember this one. It was the
yeah,
weird
you
one
can read me the descriptions as well, because I don't have the descriptions. So if we don't,
the first episode
fully remember them.
Talks about Louis and the Nazis and early Weird Weekends episodes. It was like a love letter to Weird Weekends,
right?
And it was like looking back, like where are they all now, sort of thing. It was nice, but I will still put it in D because it was just, you couldn't watch it if you hadn't seen all of Weird Weekends, sort of thing.
Yeah, I just don't remember it, so I'm just gonna go with you on that one. D it is. D. Right, the night in question. Now, the night in question was very, very good. Wasn't that the one?
That was a one-off, wasn't it?
It was one about sexual assault, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was very heavy, but it was very emotional. I'd say at least A. Like I thought
say A.
I thought that one was a good one. Just because it made me feel something like something I love about Louis Theroux is he always manages to make you feel something whilst presenting all of the facts most of the time. Like some of them I just don't remember a lot, like the ones down here in D and E tier, but there are some that just stick with you, and I remember emotions I felt more than actual content for a lot of these, but I do remember that one being very sad, very emotionally wrenching, but also, you know, the right amount of informative and everything going on. Altered States 3, Take My Baby, so adoption. I think.
that one was really, really sad. I'd say either A or B. It was about ladies who had babies and couldn't keep them, and
whilst that does sound sad, I can't really remember this one much, so I'm gonna go with B rather than A.
It was very sad.
Just because I don't remember, like if I'm gonna put the night in question up there for how it made me feel, Altered States did not make me feel as much to a point where I remember it now.
Do you mean the first Altered States? Because
Altered States 3,
the series.
Yeah. So speaking of altered states, we got 2, which was choosing death. Now, euthanasia is a very controversial topic.
And it was really sad again. This one made me really angry because some of the people could, like, what made me angry about this was the people that were doing the euthanasia pushed it onto the people and like made them choose it. So because of that, I put it in either E or F. Because it made me feel so angry.
But it did make you feel something, and isn't that the point?
Yeah, but I just really didn't like the people.
Should we go D? I don't think it necessarily belongs in E or F. So I'll bump it up to a D there, and go with that one. Okay, cool. Bit of controversy there. And Love Without Limits. Now, me personally, just talk about myself for a bit. I am non-monogamous. I have been for many years now, and I always like representation of monogamy. I always like it non-monogamy. I always like it to be looked at, and I always like information to be shared about it, because honestly, there's a lot of misconceptions about it and a lot of a lot of preconceived notions. However, for me,
documentary.
It was a good documentary. However,
they were vampires, and it was weird.
What?
Do you not remember the vampire ball they had where they started drinking people's blood? Because I bloody do. That one.
I can. I'm not too fussed about that one. Like, each to their own. They can do that if they want to. Like, I can understand the need for ritual if everyone in that kind of thing is consenting. I wouldn't do it myself, but it's still a...
It's the shock factor again. They obviously included that because they knew it would shock people. So for that reason,
I wouldn't put this in S because, like, I want to, like, part of me wants to put it in S because I like to be represented, but also I don't want to be put in S because none of the people in it, I thought they didn't represent it very, very well.
Yeah,
and
they picked people that would shock.
And I feel like, the idea was to pick people that would get the views rather than to pick actual people. Like, healthy examples of polyamory and non-monogamy working for people and people being happy, which is what I want to see more of. There were some people that were happy, but there was also
just a bit weird.
There were some people in it that were happy, and I remember that, and that was nice, but all of them it all felt kind of off, and I feel like the way it was presented just didn't do polyamory any favors, which makes me sad. But I still want to cling to any bit of representation that I could possibly have, so I would go at least B.
For me, only 1/3 of it was good. The only one was good that was that I think it was 4 of them, or maybe 5. And there was a girl in like a yellow pinafore. I remember things very vividly about these documentaries. And she was pregnant and they were raising a baby together. They were the only good part of it. The rest of it was included for shock.
Yeah, the shock factor annoyed me, which is why I can't put it in S. We've both said B now, so I'll go to B. I want to put it higher, but I feel like it was more to shock than it was to give good rep, and that makes me sad.
Rep in it.
Yeah.
For me, anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I could talk for a very long time about that one. But, yeah. Talking to anorexia. I've never watched this one.
It's one of the ones he does in the UK. The British ones always break my heart. Talking to anorexia, I'm not sure, because I don't remember much about it, but I remember it touched something in me. Like, I remember it affecting me emotionally, but I don't remember much about it. I don't know whether it's just because I have a lot of friends who deal with anorexia, so that could be it.
So it did make you feel something, so that's good,
but
and you do remember
it's one
about
of the ones that are in the UK, and in my opinion, the ones about the UK are always the best ones. Like,
right, well, I haven't seen this one. I don't think
UK.
I don't know anything about this one, so I can't really rate it. Where would you put it?
Let's go with C.
Okay.
Because it's not my favourite one from in the UK, but it's one of the ones that from in the UK, which are always my favourites. Because I'm from the UK.
Well, we're moving over to the States again with Dark States 3. Murder in Milwaukee. Now, is this the one where he deals with cops being racist and killing black people?
He talks about the high rate of murder in Milwaukee. There was that lady with a pimp, and it was really fucking sad.
Oh, I remember the lady with the pimp. Yeah, that was sad.
I think B.
Really?
Maybe A, actually. Yeah, A.
I wouldn't put it that high, so I'm gonna go.
Maybe
I'm gonna
C.
put it in B, because B was the one you said first, and I would disagree strongly with A. So I think I'd just go with B. For that one, I'm afraid. So Dark States 2, Trafficking Sex. This one stood out in my mind.
Broke me a little bit.
There was a lot of pimps in this one, and it was very, very dark and very, very...
And a lot of women that really didn't want to be in the situation, and... Like,
I think because of how it approached the issue and how it made me feel, I would go with A.
Yeah, I learned a lot more about the sex trafficking. I don't want to say business or industry, because it's the wrong term. But I learned a lot more about what actually goes on. Like, I've heard about people that go missing might get involved in it and stuff, but other than that, I haven't really known much about what it actually is. And it educated me a lot, and the ones that educate you are always the best documentaries, really, if you come out of them learning something you didn't know.
I'd put it in A, because I remember how it made me feel, I remember some of the details about it, and it was good, and it was the right amount of informative and horrifying and shocking, but also intriguing and raising awareness was just perfect, I think.
Yeah.
Right, how many of these have we got left? Whoa, my God, we've got fucking three... We've got a few left, and we've got like...
We finished this season, and then do another season, and then we'll do the rest next week.
Or we could just speedrun them. Should we just speedrun it? Let's just speedrun it. Alright, Dark Stakes 1, Heroin Town. I like that one. I thought it...
I liked that one too.
Yeah. Honestly, I remember that one a lot. I remember the girl that's pictured in there, on the front cover there. I remember her story.
Yeah, I remember
her
really
boyfriend was very abusive.
I remember feeling for
enabling
for the people that run Methadone.
All right, Savile. Savile was an interesting one.
I think it was very emotional, Savile, because
Louis Theroux, he
was friends with
he befriended him when he did a fucking documentary about it, and he just felt responsible, and I can understand why, that feeling of why, because it was kind of like he enabled him with the documentary, even though he didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, like it was very emotional, because we kind of saw Louis battling with the guilt in that, and he doesn't often show emotion. I'd say A. Pretty high, A. Yeah. It was very good.
Or should we go S, actually? Because I think I don't know. Like, having Louis Theroux's actual emotion in there was something that was quite interesting. A Different Brain. Louis meets with people with long-term effects.
Brain was. Was that... let me find A Different Brain. A Different Brain. Was that the one with the
I don't remember.
I think it was it was Louis takes takes a look at the issues experienced with people living with long-term brain injuries. It was another one that was set in the UK. It was people with severe brain damage, and there was that lady on it who couldn't go near her kids because
they made her feel really sad.
Made her feel really sad, and I felt really
I remember
sad
that.
for them. And I also learned a lot about brain injuries. So I think B for that one, because I learned a lot from that one. Yeah.
Sure. Right. Actually, I don't think we're going to be able to speedrun it and do it justice. So I'm just going to do this last folder, and then that'll be it for that, and then we will start wrapping up the podcast. But do stick around, because we are going to be playing Among Us after the podcast. I won't be ending my stream, so we will just be going straight into that. With a short break in between, so do stick around for that. Right. Okay, we've got one more here. Transgender kids. I loved this one. I thought it was very well done. But what do you think, Casper?
I did really like it. I really liked the way that it was positive.
Yeah.
But also, I did distinctly remember thinking that one of the kids was pushed into it by the parents. I don't remember which one. But I remember watching this. I watched it when I first came out as trans. And I remember thinking one of them was pushed into it by the parents. But he took a positive look at trans kids in America, which never happens. And he empowered them. So
I'd say S, personally. Yeah, I think S. Like, I remember really enjoying that one. I remember it being really informative, really interesting. By Reason of Insanity, Part 2.
By Reason of Insanity, should we just do them as a whole?
Yeah, I'm just going to put Part 1, I'm just going to put the picture for Part 1 in here, and it's going to count for Part 1 and 2, because they are pretty much exactly the same thing.
S. By Reason
I think S as well. Reason of Insanity has stuck with me for a very long time, just because that's the one where, because there's basically a hospital for pedophiles, for nonces, right?
Oh no,
that's not the one?
No.
Was that not the one? I thought that was the one.
That's Walking with the Pedophiles, or something along those lines. I've got them on list now. By Reason of Insanity is when he went to Ohio State psychiatric hospitals, meeting patients who have committed crimes, at times horrifically violent, while in the grip of severe mental illness.
Okay, I don't remember that one as much. I was talking about a completely different one. Jesus.
Who was a 70 or 80-year-old man. And he was walking around giving soft toys to the inmates. Patients, sorry. And he was a really sweet, lovely old man who... and they didn't want to talk about his crimes because he'd come so far from it. He was, like, deep into psychosis when he did it. And he murdered someone brutally. And I distinctly remembered the shock, like, of when they'd said that. Like, it stuck with me. So I think
this isn't one that's like this. I thought this one was completely different. The one that I'm thinking of, I would put in S, but because I can't remember this one as well, I know it roughly, but it hasn't stuck with me in the same way. I don't think I can put it in S personally. So because you said A, I'm just gonna put it in A. Twilight of the Porn Stars. I remember that one was quite funny.
15 years after documentary in the world of male porn performers in LA, Louis Theroux returns to find a business struggling.
This was returning.
I remembered one of them killed himself. One of the ones he interviewed, and it was really upsetting. But other than that, I remember nothing about it.
I think if both of us can't remember as much about it, then maybe C. It wasn't like too much of a really bad one. I'd go even D. I wouldn't go D because I remember some things from it, but just not as much as some of the others. Extreme Love 2, Dementia.
I think it was really sad. I remember that one being very, very sad.
I don't remember anything about it, so you're cool, really, this one.
I think A.
A.
It was really
What?
sad.
Any reason why that one specifically, other than
There
just
was a
it was sad?
lady whose husband didn't remember who she was. She thought that she was one of the carers, and
Oh yeah.
he
Oh
entered a
yeah. That wasn't
relationship
too
with
good.
someone else.
Yeah,
in
I
the
remember
home.
because she looked over to the camera like, "Why is this camera in my house?" And she did it multiple times throughout the interview, even though they were already there.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was really sad.
And it was just really
Um,
sad.
and Extreme
And I
Love
learned
1,
a lot
autism
about
as
it.
well. What would you
I
say for
think
Extreme Love 1?
I'm in two minds, because it's a good documentary, but
But some of the
also
people in it were
there
very
is-
autism
is-
has a cure kind of people,
there
you
is
know?
a scene where the family lie on the child and restrain the child in a way that is damaging not only to physical health but to mental health for autistic people.
Yeah.
And I know that those practices cause PTSD in
Yeah.
autistic people. So I think we need to put it quite low down for that.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I
not
think
only.
maybe
I think E.
maybe E. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That's all for that, and I think we're gonna start wrapping up the podcast now. But do
Yeah,
stick
that's a
around
good
if you're
place to end
watching
it.
over on my stream, because we are going to be playing Among Us in a little bit. We're just going to take a break at 7:30 for a couple of minutes and then come back whilst we set up. Oh, there's America's Most Dangerous, but like these are the ones we didn't get to cover so far in this tier list. I'd say America's Most Dangerous Pets I would definitely put up there. Don't remember anything about Miami Mega Jail. America's Most Hated Family is 100% probably S tier documentary content. Fucking amazing. Don't remember anything about Law and Disorder. America's Medicated Kids, I don't really remember too much. The City Addicted to Crystal Meth, I love his ones on drugs. They're very informative. A Place for Pedophiles has stuck with me for a very, very long time just because I find it so bizarre that there is a place for pedophiles. I find it both fascinating and horrific in a really morbid way. But for some reason that one sticks in my mind a lot. Law and Disorder, don't remember many of the Law and Disorder. I don't know anything about the African Hunting Day. Behind Bars, I only remember vaguely. That's all of that one on that one. And then we didn't cover anyone in this folder either. Under the Knife, The Most Hated Family in America, which I think was the first one, which is definitely S tier.
That was
Gambling in
the
Las
first one.
Vegas, I remember that one stuck with me for quite a while. I personally put it at least A. Lewis and the Nazis, another top tier one, probably at least A or a B for me. Lewis Martin Michael, don't know. Lewis and the Brothel, I do remember, probably B, C kind of place. When Lewis met Keith Harris, don't know. When Lewis met Chris, I don't think I've seen any of the When Lewis met.
Oh, that was when Louis met. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember any of the When Louis met, so I wouldn't be able to rate them. But yeah, those are some of the... We thought, what is the weirdest fucking tier list that we could possibly do? And we've got these ones. There isn't one in F tier, but if I was to put one in F tier, it would probably be the one that Louis Theroux hates himself the most, which is the one where he does interview Jimmy Savile without actually knowing yet what Jimmy Savile was. So that obviously horrific, and obviously Louis Theroux himself hates that one. So I would put that in F tier if we had a picture for it. But thankfully, I think it's been removed from all platforms because they don't want to platform that man, which is good. So at least there's that. So yes, that is our tier list. We are going to end the podcast there.
Yeah,
but over on my channel, twitch.tv/Zenith Games, you can see me and Casper playing Among Us with a group of friends in about half an hour. So if you stick around, we're going to be doing that. I'm going to take a short break on my channel for about 5 minutes and then come back. I might play a little bit of chess or whatever whilst we get ready, because we're not due to play until 8. Yeah, so stick around, and that will be the thing. Any closing thoughts, Casper?
No.
No? Okay, cool.
I really need the loo, so I'm gonna end my stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna end my stream. I'm
See
gonna
you
go
next time.
set up some stuff, and I'll see you in a bit. Alright.